Welcome to the Tip It Out Golf Podcast. We are analysts by day and golf nerds by night. Through the use of data, our knowledge, and our experiences, we hope to create a community that is determined in the pursuit of perfect golf. During our time here, we intend to cover everything from the PGA Tour to the first-time golfer, swing analysis to course management, the physical game to the mental game, even equipment and fitness. But in the end, we hope to share some laughs, some stories, and some knowledge on our journey to pull back the curtain on the game we all love. Time to tip it out. All right, welcome to the first ever Tip It Out Golf Podcast. Welcome to the studio. We got Evan Ferrara, aka IFB. How we doing tonight?
Good, man. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. And we got Benny Foltz. How we doing?
Fantastic. How are you?
I'm good. After the finish at the Honda Classic, man, I'm looking forward to it.
So
All right, hey, how about Ferrari? You want to tell the audience a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, just to give a little background to the people. I'm a ex-college golfer, current bank analyst, diehard golfer. I've been golfing since I could hold a club in my hand. Officially I'm a 1 handicap, but I haven't entered a score in my handicap in like 2 years, so potential sandbagging going on there. But yeah, we're all three pretty good players, so I'll turn it back to Ben over there.
Yeah, Ben, let's hear it.
Sure, you want me to do my intro? Here, I'll do my intro. Hello, Ben Foltz. Also a diehard golfer. Not quite in the finance side, but I'm in the tech side at the same bank for our works at. It's kind of fun. Yeah, I've been playing golf since I was 3. Started competitive golf when I turned 8. I did the whole high school path, did the whole college path. I'm a 2.2 handicap, but that's also using scores that are a little outdated, so might be a little bit lower now, in all honesty. But yeah, diehard golfer. Hopefully, we can bring you guys some useful stats. Should be fun.
Absolutely. And a little bit about myself. I live and breathe golf. I've been, like Farrar said, and Ben, like I've been golfing since honestly before I could even run.
Same.
So yeah, I live and breathe golf. Little sprinkle of data analytics in there as well. Like them, former D3 golfer. And since graduating in May of 2020, I've since moved back to my home state of Michigan. And I'm on the grind. Hopefully this podcast makes us better at golf, and you guys are better at golf as well. And all that just because I finished solo second in the club championship last summer. Finished 5 shots back with 2 triples and a double, or 2 doubles and a triple. Yeah,
did you really? I've never heard of that one before.
Been grinding this winter to lock up that 2023 win at the club championship.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so
it's gonna happen.
I mean, and we all played on the same team, and I think it's safe to say Ferrara was one of the best in our college's history, honestly.
Yeah, he's up there.
That's cap.
He's up there.
I don't know. He's top 10 for sure. Top 5 even. How many top 10s? How many top 5s did you have, Ferrara?
I only know this because I just checked before we did this. I have 6 top 5s.
Very nice.
Yeah, I never won though, and I didn't have any all conferences, but I pride myself in my scoring average and my ability to grind out fucking 77s. I made a career at the College of Worcester of grinding out 77s and 76s. So
it was all 16 pars and 2 bogeys.
I will throw some love back to you, Mac. There's no one in the world I'm more terrified of with a 20-foot birdie putt in the world than this dude, Mac Belvich. I mean, he invented right around the time D'Angelo Russell was there's ice in my veins. There's ice in his putter, and dead ass, there's ice in that dude's putter.
That's very true. I've seen that firsthand for many years.
Yeah.
I'm always guaranteed at least one bomb of a putt every round. But
Yeah,
put me
I'm
over 4-footer,
trembling.
my knees start trembling, man.
I start trembling when you get to 17. You haven't made one over like 25 feet. You know, like
Yeah.
he's due.
Like,
He's
it's
due.
It's
It's
gonna
gonna
happen.
happen.
Fultz, how many do you have any top fives? No, I don't think did you have any wins? I didn't have any wins, that's for
I
sure.
had no wins, I don't think. I got a couple runner-ups. I probably had like what, also like 5 top fives, maybe even more than that. I don't know. But also, I play in a little bit of a different time though, because I went through the whole COVID college career. So I got one of my seasons cut off, and then the next season that was during COVID, so 2020 to 2021, that season was kind of just ruined. So I ended up playing a bunch of matchups, like 1, 2 teams instead of full tournaments where there were 8 teams. So it was a little bit easier to place, top 10, top
Yeah,
5.
you had like 18 or 20 top
Yeah,
10s.
right.
Yeah,
and
these
a bunch
limited
of
field events, man,
top
they're
Yeah.
not it.
Padded the
You're only
I
stats.
playing
got
with
lucky.
48 players in the field.
Yeah, I was definitely padding the stats a little bit. So I don't know, but either way, yeah, I had a good run at it.
Ben Foltz's putting percentage for like a par save is like
It's
PGA, like better than
ridiculous.
any PGA
It's
Tour
got to
player
be
you've ever seen. I
over
mean,
70%,
if
no
he has
matter
a
the length.
20-footer for par, he's going to make it. If he has a 10-footer for par, he's going to make it. If it's going to break 10 feet, he's going to find a way to like ram the ball in the back of the cup. The dude does not like leaving putts short. He does not.
I've never seen Ben leave a putt
I don't think
short.
I've ever seen it.
Hey, up and downs are my specialty, so
If you want to learn how to
I
putt
gotta lean on
aggressively,
something.
just watch this man play around at golf.
Yeah, but then also if you want to learn how to not hit your irons, also watch me play golf, because Jesus, I could not hit an iron to save my life. Hence why I'm so good at putting, because I always chip it to 15 feet and then drain the putt. I got my game figured out. Okay, the podcast was not here to figure out my game. That's been done for 13 years. I've not made a single change.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, Fultz, you probably have a small pool to pick from, but I mean, since all our college careers are over, we're lost in the sauce of trying to figure out what we want to do moving forward.
Mhm.
And I mean, do you have a like a favorite college golf memory? Because I got one on my head, but I want to hear what you got to say.
I know. I was thinking of some. I mean, I have a couple good memories from last year's little extravaganza when you guys weren't there. But I'd say from when we were all together, I think it was. I mean, I got to go back to the COVID times. The COVID times ripped our season in half. So hopefully, neither one of you would pick this as your favorite memory, just so we get some diversity. But I would say we that night that we all spent in the gondola, just hanging out together. As our last night. The College of Worcester does this thing too. I'll provide a little context where we go on a spring trip, and it's normally like 2 weeks. We travel all the way down to Florida and play golf courses all the way down. And COVID kind of hit right in the middle of that spring trip. So we had like one night where we were, all pretty sad that we were going to be leaving the next day. So we kind of just, had a little hoorah. And had some
The
fun with it,
NCAA
so.
had like officially canceled the all spring sports season. We found out that classes were going to be canceled or at least postponed. So yeah, that was a good night.
Yeah,
Very
That was a
sad,
great night.
but like
it was
Very sad,
like
but it was a good night.
the highest of highs and like the lowest of lows. Just we all
Yeah.
knew like this was it. This was our college career,
Mhm.
but we're gonna go
No
out.
spring season. Normally, College of
Yeah.
Worcester has 2 seasons, fall and spring, and we never had that
Yeah.
spring season, so that kind of sucked too.
Yeah.
But it was my favorite memory because I got to spend some really good time with you guys, which was great. So always spending time
wow.
with the team.
It was
Always
really
spending
deep.
time with the team. Yeah, that was a deep favorite memory.
I like
but
that. I
It
like
is
And
by
that's
far
why
my
that's why we're
favorite
here
memory.
today filming this podcast. I would say.
Exactly.
Mac, what's your favorite memory?
On our team we had this thing called the Grinder Cup, where we'd split into 2. We'd have a Ryder Cup format. We'd play alt shot, best ball, and on on that Saturday we would have a singles matches, and I was paired up against Mr. Paul, and this dude was the second coming of Anthony Kim. He just was.
You always say
were
that
you?
because he's
He
Asian.
was
No.
loud, boisterous, a good player. Like, it was everything I wanted. And And in that match, I mean, I did lose. My favorite memory is of course me losing, but I think it was 2-1, or I lost, or like two. I lost two down, but our match was so heated. It was back and forth, one up, even, one down, one up. It was just crazy, and we were screaming at the top of our lungs. And it's end of fall, so it's freezing cold. Everybody's kind of a little miserable, I'd say. But when we finally got in, we had everybody. All the other groups were like, "Dude, we heard you from like halfway across the property, like screaming."
Dude, I remember hearing
Let's
you.
go!
The intensity,
I'd
the
be-
intensity gets going during the Grinder Cup for sure.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
and it was. I mean, that was. And then on top of that, we went to a playoff because my
That's the
team
best.
captain four putted on the final green around 17 to lose his match. And then as soon as that ended, I mean, we had it was kind of nice weather, a little cold, but not much wind, not much sun either. But for all in all, a good day. We stand up on the first playoff hole. We're doing all play, all 8 guys. And as soon as we get to that tee box, sideways, 20-mile-per-hour winds, rain, snow,
Minimum, I'm talking
everything,
like 30-mile-an-hour winds. Yeah.
everything that
Crazy.
God could throw at us, he threw at us. And
the stick was leaning like this.
One whole winner take all playoff.
yep. And
It was
I mean,
electric.
and guy who, the other team captain who had won that match stuck it to, I don't know, 3 feet on an insanely hard par
Pretty incredible
5
shot.
or par 3.
Yep.
It was wild.
Yeah, Worcester Country Club hosted some amazing Grinder Cups during its time. I gotta
Absolutely.
say, we got one of the good ones too. So
we did. Far, you got anything to top that?
Yeah, I did.
No, I don't have anything to top that. We could probably just move on. No, yeah. Like spring trips, our spring break trips was like my favorite part is being a golfer at Worcester was having a 2-week spring break where we just traveled and played
Oh, great,
random awesome.
Mac, you
What's
had to
that?
bring up the Grinder Cup. Now you pissed him off because he didn't win that year. He's all upset now.
I was on his team. I lost too, man.
Yeah, you brought some bad memories. No, that's fine. I absolutely love the Grinder Cup, but yes, spring break golf trip was always my favorite part of the year.
Absolutely. I mean, we played courses like Frederica and Ponte Vedra Beach Club and Red Stick. I mean, Atlantic Beach.
It's Adam, Atlantic Beach.
Mm-hmm.
Played some phenomenal golf courses. I mean, I'd argue one of the best spring trips in college golf, period.
Yeah. Pine Needles.
Agreed.
I mean, you could throw so many courses that we get to play that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So.
Yeah. How about like a favorite golf memory? You guys got a favorite? I can lead us off if we want to.
I got a great one. Go ahead though, Mac.
All right.
If you got one figured out.
Our team, keep bringing back up the team, but we just went down to Pinehurst this past summer. And it was basically the first day. We were playing Mid Pines, and it was getting a little dark. Nobody else was on the course. We teamed up. We played as an 8-some.
Yeah.
And we were on hole 15, and I make eagle. And they're like, we're standing on 15 tee box. Like, this is probably the last hole. Like, we gotta go get dinner. It's gonna get dark. And I made eagle. That put me to 3 under. And I was like, guys, we can't end now. We got 3 holes left. I gotta go.
You gotta keep going.
I gotta finish this round. I gotta post the score. So they're like, all right, we're gonna watch you. So I had 7 other guys around me. It's pitch black. You don't know where the ball's going anywhere. We got flashlights out and ended up bogeying 16 because I was rushing. But then I brought it back within myself and had 2 makeable birdie putts on 17 and 18. But sadly missed both. But a good 2 under to start a trip. That was
awesome.
Just and everybody around me. We haven't seen them in a while, and it was awesome.
That is good. That's a good memory.
Yeah.
Just for clarification before I go, we're talking favorite golf memory of all time, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So my favorite golf memory of all time has to be when I was maybe 7 years old, and I made my dad
way back.
We are going way back. But this is a great memory. I can even pull up the video if you guys want to see it. I don't think I've showed either one of you. So, but basically, my dad used to film whenever we would go to Signature Soul in my old home course. And he would just film me playing golf. And I was super young, super small, this tiny little kid, but unbelievably talkative. And he just got this really funny video of me kind of working through like the the different like the science behind golf, and he called it the science in golf video, like by me, and it was absolutely hilarious. I absolutely need to pull it up. It's one of the greatest videos I've ever created. It's so funny. It's hilarious. I mean, I can't do it justice by explaining it, but just know that it is a great video, great watch, hilarious. I don't know, all the
Ben's
good
been
words that
addicted
you
to
can
giving
say.
out golf advice since he was 7. That's pretty much what I got from that.
I was the best. If you watch the video, you'll see that I'm diving into all the science behind it too. And like the molecules in the air are closer together. And like the ball won't travel as far. And I learned this at a baseball game. It's so
He
funny.
was the Bryson before Bryson.
I was on the track, dude. I was on the track. I just some point forgot that I need to practice every day. And then here we are, D3 in college. I got no complaints though, so it's okay. But that's by far my favorite memory. Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Yeah, my favorite golf memory, we played like a Friday round at this course in Cleveland called Sand Ridge, and I made an albatross, a 2 on a par 5.
Oh yeah.
On like
I should have known that was
great
gonna be
shot.
and
Yeah.
okay, the shot was awesome. Like I hit it, I couldn't have hit 2 better shots. Like murdered a driver, made a 5-iron. My golf coach, who's like, used to be a college athlete, and I've never seen him like have like too much emotion ever. He's pretty like even keeled guy. Watching him
True.
like sprint 190 yards up the fairway because he thought we couldn't see if it went in, but he said he thought he saw it go in, and watching him sprint 190 yards and getting way more excited than me for making the albatross was awesome. It was so awesome.
I'll tack onto that. I'm on the next tee, like I'm on the next hole on the tee, and I can see all the way down the fairway, and I turn around after hearing like a big roar, and I just see Danch just like hoofing it up the fairway. And then he gets up there, he's like, hey. It was hilarious. Knowing a lot more about our coach makes that even funnier too.
Yeah.
That's not a guy
he's
who's
a little shorter, a little stockier guy.
Yeah. Yeah, he's not a guy that's gonna sprint up,
No, I haven't seen him really hustle like that, except for noon hoops.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, exactly.
might not even hustle in noon hoops either.
Or if he's late to picking up his like van, his or travel van or something.
Yeah. But yeah, and honestly, on top of my memory, I mean, this might also be because I shot 2 under there, but I mean, Mid Pines might also be like my favorite golf course because of the way those holes and the way Donald Ross routed it. It just like
Donnie.
flows. The Donald, I mean, it just flows like a well-written book. It's I can't picture that course being any better than it was, and it's one of the best routings in the country, in my opinion.
So that actually segues pretty nice into our next question. Like, what's your favorite course? Would you say that in that case, Mac, that your favorite course is Mid Pines?
Oh, by far, I'd have to go with Mid Pines, and I've played like some amazing golf courses.
Mm-hmm. All right, that's a good pick. For what would you say?
God, Mid Pines was so good. It's like
Mid Pines is so good.
This is like a course that you can just play over and over and over again.
Yeah,
not
never
lose any golf balls, but like still fight for a good score.
Yeah. We played Frederica in St. Simons Island, Georgia, on our spring trip, and Ben, we were gonna play there our senior year and stay at the cabins like on the 18th hole, and COVID canceled that, and it's just one of the biggest heartbreaks of all time.
It was gonna be the next day.
Literally the next day. We
left,
stay for
and then
24
the next
more
day
hours.
we were gonna stay. Yeah.
Oh, and on top of that, I don't know if you guys remember this, but when the day we were supposed to be there was the day that Tiger Woods was there with Charlie.
Oh, right. Yeah, exactly.
100%. Yep.
And we would have been staying there. Unbelievable.
But Ben, his senior year, got to play it twice, and I mean, you can probably attest like that golf course is. I've never played anything like it.
Well, I'm not gonna lie.
Awesome.
I was going to say Frederica, but you already picked Frederica, so I had to change my pick. But that's a wonderful pick. Like, that is such a great course. It's unbelievable. Super fun to play too, and their practice area is amazing too.
Best practice facility I've ever seen.
It's huge, way bigger than I thought it was, but memory failed me. So I would say my favorite course has to be Sandridge. Sandridge is a great course. It's local. I grew up there. I stayed in the cabins there a bunch of times. Did a little like summer tour there. Damn, that place was fun. Super cool course. Never gets boring. I also have a funny story really quick too, where I teed off on 10 in the tournament. Blew it into the water, got a 9, so I started 5 over, and then from there on out I was 1 under. So love that course. A lot of great, good and bad memories there.
Yeah,
so
that's awesome.
Had to say Sand Ridge.
Just a smooth 76.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, routine. I do that every day.
Hey, you know, HV3 once said, you know, it's better to make triple on the first hole than the last hole because, you know, you got
agree.
17 more holes to fix your fuck up. So,
and my story is proof of that, clearly.
There you go, right there.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I did that at Tobacco Road where I started bogey. I started bogey, double bogey, and ended up shooting even par. You know,
exactly.
It's not how you start.
You know, just
how you finish, baby.
Yeah, exactly. There's no pictures on the scorecards.
Nah, nobody cares how you got there. They just want to know how you did.
I mean, all this talk about golf, and I mean, I'm getting excited. You know, it's a little cold, obviously. Being northern golfers, we have kind of like a set season. We can't just play all year round like some of these Florida guys and Carolina guys. But you know, I've kind of written out a few season goals. How about you guys? You got some?
Got some as well. Yeah, let's go for it.
All right, cool. How about Farrar? How about you start us off this time?
Cool. So, yeah, one of the reasons we're starting this podcast is to get better ourselves, and we want to kind of make some goals to hold ourselves accountable, and you know, look forward to this future season. I have a couple here, a little bit all over the place, but first and foremost goal is to keep a handicap and like log my scores, keep some stats. Like it'd be really cool to just grind my handicap low and just see how good I can get it. And that's a really easy way to track, you know, how good you're getting at golf. So further, like we're all analysts, and in college we used to track our stats, but I want to go a little step further and like track stats and log stats, stuff like that, just to get a little more data on myself. We're nerds here, so I play in a lot of tournament golf still, even though I'm a washed up D3 golfer. There's some local tournaments I want to play in. I played in 8 tournament rounds in 2022. I want to play in like 10 tournament rounds in 2023 or more. Just gives me a reason to practice, gets me excited, gets me pumped up. It still makes golf a lot of fun for me. I haven't shot a sub 69 round in like 2 years, so would love to have a sub 69 round this year for sure. Next,
and tracking those stats will help for sure.
Yeah, hopefully that's the idea. And then
in theory,
I want allegedly. I also want to convince Ben to get new clubs this year. Dude's rocking like 10-year-old irons and 8-year-old driver. So I'm on.
You can't say
podcast.
I'm on his ass all the time trying to give him new clubs.
You can't say that though, because I know 2 days ago that you looked at me and you were like, "I'm honestly afraid of the day that you get new clubs." And now you got a goal now to get me new clubs.
Hey, we're all trying to get better. We're a group.
We're all trying to get better, dude. What happens if you get better than I get better? Event? When we play in a best ball event this summer and you have shit clubs, bro, and we play and we don't win it. I want to go win some money this summer with you.
I don't want to have any excuses either, so yeah. I like it.
And then I played in the Cleveland Am this past summer for the first time. Really cool event, 3 days with a cut. I'm living in Cleveland right now. It's like at a course right by where I live. It'd be cool to top 10 in that next year. I finished like 25th or 28th last year. Made the cut, but didn't finish too well. But yeah, it'd be really cool to top 10 at the Cleveland Am. So
yeah, absolutely. And there's probably some really good players in that too.
There are, yeah.
Isn't the Hiram? Is it Hiram's old coach or Hiram's coach in that?
Yeah, he beat me.
Yeah, he's a good player.
He honestly beats me like routinely, but
he's a good player in his own right.
54-year-old dude, just I can't freaking beat. But yeah, seriously.
So good. All right, I like those goals. I mean, definitely keeping track of our stats. It's definitely probably on all of our lists. More than we have in the past. So that we can, bring it back to the podcast and kind of go over it and show you how to analyze your own stats and, just how to be a better golfer overall without having to, go to all these different ends of the internet to try and figure it out. So, I look forward to it. What about you, Fultz? What you got?
I got a few things actually. Farrar covered a lot of mine, so some may overlap, but that's only because he has every single goal under the sun. So good for you.
Hey, aim high. Aim high.
So obviously we started Tip It Out because we're kind of data science guys, interested in golf, love watching golf, love analyzing the stats behind it too. So my main goal, I would say, for this summer is to just get better at keeping my stats and then have a better understanding of what my stats actually do for my game. I think that's going to be big for not only myself but also the podcast, bringing you guys better content and everything. So that's definitely, I would say, my top goal. My next goal is, this is the first year that I'm out of college. So I didn't actually get to play any tournaments last summer. So I'm hoping that this summer, like I said, this kind of overlaps with Farrar, but hopefully this summer I'm going to be able to get into amateur golf a little bit, see what tournaments I can play in, see what local stuff they have, just kind of get my feet wet in the amateur world and just see what I can do. Obviously, Ferrari bullied me into possibly getting new clubs, so obviously I need new clubs. Everything in my bag is 7 years old or so, so none of my wedges have grooves anymore. I'm still ripping the same driver that I've been ripping since I was like 15.
Gotta get you some new tech, baby. There's some good stuff out
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, I know. I've just been watching everything evolve around me, and I'm just like, I'm good hitting a high draw into every single green and getting, unbelievable spin numbers. So I definitely need new clubs. And then another one just for fun. This is I want to feel the energy of playing well again. So obviously, you guys will hear more about our Pinehurst trip maybe in the future, but us three and a few other golfers went to Pinehurst, hence why we've mentioned Mid Pines and everything so much. But on that trip, a lot of us played really well, and there was a lot of really cool energy. And I'm just hoping to continue that into 2023 season. I think it would also be really cool if I'm able to pull that off, maybe in an amateur tournament. So lofty goals, but they're there. And then my last thing is, this is my own personal journey that I've been on for a while. I want to focus on making more birdies. I noticed something about my game where I would try really, really hard to prevent bogeys from happening, but I wouldn't really focus on following up a bogey with a birdie. So I think I'm going to really try to, make more birdies in a round. I think it's probably going to start out. Yeah, it's a great goal. I think it's been a really long journey for me to try to figure out how the fuck to do that. But I'm hoping this year that I can actually figure it out.
Changing your mindset, yeah, and just like instead of playing defensive, play
for sure,
play offensive, go fucking make some birdies rather than try to prevent bogeys.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, and I feel like I grew up playing defensive, and my defensive game is really good. That's why I'm so good at putting from 15 feet for par. That's why I'm so good at chipping. But I've never really been somebody who's going to stand at 150 yards and knock it to 3 feet. I'll do it every once in a while, because if you just play enough golf, the numbers are there. But I've never really been that kind of guy who's gonna, just drop one next to the pin. So I don't know if that's necessarily pin seeking, and I'm not exactly sure that's, maybe just trimmers over birdie putts, but that's the goal. We're gonna try to figure it out. I just need to play some more golf, see where I'm at, and hopefully through analyzing my stats, it kind of goes one-on-one. So yeah, I got some good goals. We'll see where I get. Hopefully a lot of birdies will be flowing. Not a lot of bogeys. Fuck bogeys. So I love it.
Yeah. I mean, I might suggest, listening to that, I might suggest when you track your stats, maybe track like a bounce back stat. So if you have a bogey, what's your score to par after making a bogey? Like, what's your average score to par, after making a bogey? I think that'd be really interesting to see.
I love that.
And of course, I don't want to, I'll go into mine, but I don't want to sound like a broken record here, but of course mine's track rounds as well. I just, I've kind of fallen out of it. I've kind of become kind of that, I don't know, club golfer of just, I'm going to go whack a few balls on the range and I'm just going to go play. And it's helped my mental game, but I don't think I'm going to see the gains that I want to from doing that consistently. I think I need, if I want to be better, I got to put the time in on the range a little bit more and stuff like that. So definitely tracking my rounds. And then, I'm sitting at a plus 1.2 after last summer, and I know there's some obvious holes in my game when it comes to short game. Maybe not necessarily chipping, but definitely, kind of like that 20 to 120 yard range. It used to be one of my best aspects. I could get up and down from that range from anywhere, and I kind of had a mental block. We won't say the word.
We're all
akin
it.
to chip. But yeah, so I'm gonna really focus on this summer practicing that 20 to 100 yard range and maybe creating a few games, and I can go over that in a future podcast of the games I'm working on or the games I'm using to improve. And I think it's true for most practices, finding games, putting pressure on yourself, making it fun so you don't just hit 3 balls and go, all right, I'm done with this, I'm gonna go play. And then probably my final goal is getting to 170 ball speed. I used to kind of sit around 165 ish, maybe, right at there, maybe a little higher. Then I had a hip injury, started working out a lot. And it's gone back up a little bit, but I'm sitting around 155. So to get that distance back, and be able to cruise at 170 ball speed on the course is definitely something I'm working towards.
Oh, yeah.
And, I'm excited to get out on some grass in a couple months and see what we can't come up with.
Yeah.
Yeah, the snow on the driving range has been a real pain in the butt.
Yeah, it's not it.
Just hitting bunker shots.
I want to know where my ball lands. Everything's white.
Yeah, just bunker shots off of just so much practice.
I saw a video actually of what's that Norwegian dude's name from Oklahoma State? Really good player.
Hovland, yeah, Victor Hovland.
No, he's still in college. Still an amateur, but
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about too. I can't remember his name.
I mean, if you know his name, drop it in the comments because I don't feel like looking it up.
Yeah, there you go.
He went back to, he was. It snowed at Oklahoma, and he had a video filming with like Golf Channel or something like that, and he was hitting bunker shots out of the bunker, but it was snow, and he's like, it's just a little lighter, but it's basically the same thing.
Exactly. See?
Yeah.
You just go out there,
make do with what you got. So
yeah.
While we're sitting here in the cold, complaining, we just need to be out there practicing.
It's the only thing you can practice when it's this cold out.
Do you think they get to practice on grass in Siberia? No.
Dirt.
All right, and so I guess that's a little bit about ourselves. Kind of what our favorite courses are, what some of our favorite memories.
Hopefully
how we got into golf a little bit.
Yeah, hopefully that was a good summary of who we each are.
Yeah,
and kind of why we want to do this.
Absolutely, and so now we'll I guess now we're kind of officially getting into the podcast, and this is kind of a segment we're gonna have kind of reoccurring every week.
Yeah, let's go.
And I truly look forward to this one a lot. It's gonna create some great moments, some great clips. But we're called Birdie Bogey. It's kind of like our birdie of the week and our bogey of the week. Maybe who's hot, who's cold, who stocks bullish, who stocks bearish, a little bit. But anybody want to get us started on that?
I'll go ahead, but hopefully he comes back. You want me to say both bogey and birdie?
Yeah, we'll go both.
Okay. I kind of have two bogey plays. My first bogey play is this is a great clip from the Honda Classic of Harry Hall hitting it out of the water on 15. I'm pretty sure it was. He kind of blew one onto the right, and he just strips all the way down, rolls up his pants, and just splashes one out of the water. And unfortunately, doesn't quite make it far enough up that he could drop up there, so it rolls back down into the junk. And then he takes another just absolutely massive whack at it. He's got stuff stuck to his shirt. He's like pulling off and everything. Thankfully, he gets it out in the second go around, but a very literal bogey play. because he doubled that hole. So so I just thought that was hilarious. The clip is fun to watch too if we want to pull that up. It's hilarious. And then my second bogey was that the Honda Classic is actually going away. I was watching today. Jack Nicklaus was on, and he was talking about how the Honda Classic is not going to be really around next year. It's going to be under a different name, and it's going to be
Honda's pulling out
all
their
this stuff.
sponsorship.
Yeah, so that was definitely a bogey play because that's a great tournament. I also think it's super interesting where you kind of get some of the members of the PGA Tour that are a little bit lower on the leaderboard. They're not the big names, so it's always fun to watch them play. You definitely get a lot of different styles of golf. Like Justin Suh, has like the widest stance I've ever seen in anybody, and like the most footwork. Like it's unbelievable. So you get a lot of really interesting golfers.
Most footwork goes to Scotty Scheffler.
Yeah, definitely. That's fair. I knew you were going to say that, but in the tournament, in the Honda Classic, at least,
there you go.
He probably has most footwork. But my point in saying that is, there's a lot of different styles of golf, and sometimes it's fun to watch new people play and be at the top of the leaderboard. The playoff was super fun to watch. Today that was earlier today. So those are my two bogey plays. My one birdie play is Ryan Gerard playing so well in the Honda. After being just a Monday qualifier. I think that's sweet. He was top 5. That's huge for his career. He played really, really well. Looked like it affected him a ton on 18. So that was fun to watch. He played well all 4 days. Honestly, he was on par every day. So it's really fun to watch that. Big time birdie play. Good for him. So
if I could go next, Mac, just to follow that up.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was one of my birdies also, and
Just
to throw in some additional stats, he won $411K. Pretty nice payday for a Monday qualifier.
It's a big payday.
These Monday qualifiers, I mean, they got no money. They're tournament to tournament. They're trying to just find their footing. They're back on bills. So that $411,000 is huge.
So most PGA Tour tournaments, I don't want to say all because I don't think all, but most PGA Tour tournaments, they hold what's called a Monday qualifier. So the Monday of the tournament, and the tournament's Thursday through Sunday. Mm-hmm. They pretty much have like an open field you can register to play. It might be like $800 or $600 to play in it. So it's pretty steep. And only a certain amount of guys, maybe 5, maybe 10.
No, it's like 2 to 5.
2 to 5, yeah.
Out of 70 or 80.
Get into the actual tournament and to see a guy go through that and then finish fourth.
And play super well.
And the big thing for Monday qualifiers is finishing top 10 gets you into the next week's PGA Tour tournament. So
he got into 4. He got into the next 4 tournaments.
Did he? Yeah. Listen to this bullshit. He finishes 4th, and next week is Bay Hill, which is an elevated event where like all the good players are going to be playing in it. He doesn't get into that. He gets into the Puerto Rico Open, which is like a
he only gets into the invitational events because he he's top 5 in it.
Yeah,
the Opens.
Which is, I don't know. You finish top 4, you should whatever's next week. You should get it in automatically to the next week event. Maybe not like the Masters or like the Players or like a huge event, but like Bay Hill is maybe I know now it's elevated tour event, but finishing top 5, I don't know. I was mad about that he it's so cool for him. He's playing in a PGA Tour event next week, the next 4 weeks, but I thought he should have gotten to Bay Hill.
Yeah, and I guess that's kind of like a consequence of these new designated events too, right? They're great for the game. I'd say. You're getting all the really good players in one spot. But now we have to contend with these new changes, and these players that are on heaters coming out of Monday Q, love to see them play, but I guess we're gonna have to wait for Puerto Rico to see him play again.
Agreed.
My other birdie, sorry, that was a long discussion about birdies, but
long bogey play.
Trace Crow, I don't know if you guys saw this. It was another Monday qualifier. Shout out the Monday qualifiers, by the way.
Seriously,
they had themselves a week.
Yeah,
he was sitting at +1 on the 18th hole, the 36th hole, which was outside the cut line, and if he needed to make birdie to make the cut. It's a par 5, really cool hole. but he missed the green in regulation, so he had to chip in to make the cut, and he chipped in. It's on video, it's on Twitter and stuff. Talk about clutch, first of all.
Yeah, that's clutch.
That chip-in actually ended up paying him almost $18,000 because he finished 63rd. So that was a $18,000 chip-in. So shout out to that, because he didn't really play well after he made the cut. So but still made the cut.
Hey, he made the cut. If you missed the cut, you're getting 0.
They called him
going to the next Monday qualifier.
They're calling him Mr. Chipinski.
Dr. Chipinski.
Dr. Chipinski.
So that was cool. Bogey of the week for me was Chris Kirk not hitting the Honda in the middle of the water after he borderline choked on the hole.
Oh my God! I'm so surprised that ended in a playoff.
The Honda today, Chris Kirk had a 1-shot lead on 18, and he went for the green in 2. And there's water on the right, and he hits it off the stone embankment, and it bounces back in the water. But there's a Honda. Like, it's a Honda Classic. There's a Honda in the middle of the lake,
like the actual car,
and it hit so hard off the stone that it was like 5 feet from nailing the Honda in the water, and that would have sent it over the top. That'd have been
amazing. My God! Do you know how funny it would have been if he nailed the window on that Honda? He broke it.
Does that go on your car insurance?
Still wins.
Is that like if you? Because it's not an accident.
It should.
Nobody owns
that car though.
Most legendary thing to ever happen in PGA Tour tournament. It's like, yeah, I shattered the window of this Honda, but
I still won.
Imagine it hits the car, or hits the embankment, ricochets off the car back onto the green into the hole. Easy eagle wins the tournament.
That would have been nuts.
Caddy conversation right there. Yeah, I like this play where you hit it off the rocks.
Yeah, hit a high floater that just bleeds out to the right side, nails the Honda, bounces off the left window of the Honda onto the embankment, up into the air, and then floats right into the hole.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds good, Chris Kirk.
You just got to picture it. You got to picture it in your brain, man.
I
love it.
My other bogey, which is kind of funny, and I don't mean this in a slight to Eric Cole, who finished second, is he went 15 for 16 from putts inside 20 feet, which is an unbelievable statistic. But the one he missed was the fucking one to extend the playoff. So
that was the hardest lip out. Besides Cam Davis's 360 on the first
day.
Tough.
That was tough. Talk about a putting display, like 15 to 16 inside 20 feet is.
And he was 49 for 49 inside of 5 feet.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know, the other
which would make sense. I mean, but
that was a hell of a display.
The other crazy thing is all those 4-footers that he made in that final round. That was unbelievable. He had so many like testers, 5 feet, right on 5 feet, or it was like 5.5 feet or 4 feet, and he just drained every single one. Every single one they looked at. It was crazy.
Kind of like on top of Eric Cole, how about, I guess actually, I'll hold this thought until we get to talk about the tournament, because it's a very important take I really want to get to. But I guess I got to go with my birdies and bogeys of the week.
Let's hear it.
All right, I'll start with my bogey. We have a new world golf ranking system in the works.
Sure.
Sports Illustrated world golf rankings. And we got the official world golf has this huge regression and algorithm to, come up with their list, and we have Data Golf that also has a huge algorithm and all that. How does Sports Illustrated measure it? Distance per shot. So they take the course length and divide it by the number of strokes that the player takes.
And that's
just, ridiculous. Just absolutely.
You know what? Making the ball into the hole is less important than hitting it really far. That's what
I team crushers, I guess, right? did anybody take the live test? I took the live test. I got team crushers, and I immediately burnt my computer. So that gif of Ron Swanson from Parks and Rec throwing his computer in the dumpster because he's on the grid. Yeah, that was me. After reading that,
guess you guys are big drive, chip, and putt fans, huh?
Yeah, there you go.
You don't give a shit about actually playing real golf. Yeah, I drive at like 320, but it's just it's 50 yards OB.
It's but just, it went like, think about it. Like, You play a really long course. If you play a longer course, you're gonna get. I can't remember. You get more benefit or less benefit from that. Like, I think it's more because longer shots. But like, and then you get these shorter courses. They're gonna, they're gonna go down in the rankings because the course is shorter. Like,
Yeah.
because they. I mean, like, what's going on there? It's just completely, just a attempt to kiss the ass of Liv, I guess. But and then my birdie of the week, on a super high note, I'm gonna have to go with the PGA and LPGA co-sanctioned event this December, getting rid of the QB shootout. And I don't know if they've named it yet, but PGA Tour players and LPGA players are gonna team up and have kind of a similar format to the QBE, but it'll be awesome to get men and women playing together and seeing just how good the LPGA players are, because they are.
Yeah.
So they're if you want to get better at golf, watch the LPGA. So
I've been
their
begging
swings are just so silky.
That's such a great. I'm glad you brought that up, because I've been really like begging for them to do that for so long, and it's actually happened. So.
That is really cool. I did not know that was a thing.
Yeah, they just announced
you
it.
You just
week.
informed me of this new
on like Tuesday or Wednesday or something like that. Yeah.
Where did you see that on?
On Twitter. I think
Okay.
PGA. Well, actually, originally I saw it was a Ricky Fowler tweet saying, "Hey, me and Nelly Korda
really?
are teaming up for this tournament."
Oh,
So
wow.
really excited
That'll be fun,
for that.
dude. That's really cool.
This is
be,
long overdue. I mean, the PGA Tour and the broadcast are finally coming around, and that's the one good thing about Live, I guess, is it's forcing the PGA Tour to kind of modernize and stop being stuck in their own ways that were just kind of hurting everybody. So
well, they got a lot of time to play with, and they feel like they just haven't used some of it. I mean, you could have a couple fun events on 2 weekends of the 52. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to play some $18 million event every single weekend. So that'll be really fun to see. I'm excited for that.
So I guess you guys had mentioned Eric Cole, and I was going to bring up a point here. But how about his FootJoy dad shoes with the joggers?
Yeah,
is that the new look on the PGA Tour? Because I was vibing with it.
Yeah.
I think that was pretty sweet. I don't think he was rocking a belt either. Did he have a belt?
Oh,
on?
no belt with the jog. Oh my.
If he did, he was wearing like the same color, because he had a really clean look out there. It was cool. I won't lie. It was pretty sweet.
Are we pro joggers?
I'm pro joggers. I'm sorry, joggers are sweet. If you rock them the right way, they'll look good.
I think they're fine on the golf course. I don't mind it as long as they have belt loops, I guess. I think that's kind of the going thing. Is joggers look a lot like sweatpants, but if they have a belt, I mean, that's fine to me.
Yeah, joggers are they're in.
But the dad shoes, I might have to go cop a pair of those dad shoes.
Were they golf Skechers? Like, what the hell was he
They were
wearing?
FootJoys.
They were FootJoys. Okay,
they look like the Air Monarchs, man. They were sweet.
Yeah, seriously, they were kind of cool. He was styling out there.
Yeah. I guess maybe let's go through the leaderboard a little bit. Start with Chris Kirk.
Great play,
big win, and I didn't realize this. I kind of forgot about it, but he struggled with alcohol. And then kind of leading up to 2019 when he took a break. And he was really open about it, and it was really awesome to see him kind of pull back and get his 5th win of his career and his first one since 2015.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about his golf?
Huge fan. Huge fan of the baby draw. Baby draw.
Oh yeah. We got a few baby draws here.
And then I love his just coolness and calmness and like rhythm. Like everything about him is just like so easy. Like his golf swing is so smooth and easy. He like never is too excited, too low, too high. He's so like even keeled. I love that.
Yeah, until I needed to pack of cigarettes on the 18th hole.
Yeah.
After watching that one, oh my.
Yeah. I'll tack onto that. I do like how calm he is, but he's got a really good poker face. But I will say, like, it does look like at times he, loses a little bit of that attack mode, and I noticed that in his second shot in 18, in regulation. Like he looked a little bit like he didn't really know what he was doing. You know, like he kind of got up there and he's, I don't know. I mean, I watched pretty much every minute of this though, so I saw him on some of his, you know, more risky shots, and he looked like he knew what he was doing. You know, he was grabbing clubs, he was cleaning them, he knew where he was supposed to stand, what he was doing with his hands. Like he just looked confident. But on that shot, he was kind of like, "Oh, do I wipe off my club face? You know, do I stand behind the ball?" Like it looked a little bit like he was a little off.
Yeah.
So not a testament to how good of a golfer he is. I mean, he played unbelievable. You know, really dominant rounds all 4 days. Really entertaining to watch. I mean, the dude could drain putts from anywhere. His chipping game is on point, and his wedges are just fire. But it was interesting to see that. I just thought that was an interesting thing that I noticed while watching.
Yeah, that's it's really important to stay in your pre-shot routine. You know, that's kind of what gets your mindset. But yeah. And then Eric Cole, like we mentioned, dude rolled the rock this week. I think he was like 4 strokes, you know, plus 4 strokes gained putting or something around there. Just an absolute clinic.
He made something like, sorry, what'd you say, Farrar?
4.6 strokes gained putting. Ridiculous.
Jeez. Yeah, he made like 240 feet of putts just on Sunday. Unbelievable.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And he had like 12 plus bombs. 1 putts. It was, I mean, it had to have been less than like 20 putts.
Yeah, honestly. Probably was. Yeah, he played out of his mind. Absolutely.
Yeah. I think also that, you know, Eric kind of, that 15th hole, I think almost ruined his tournament, that bunker shot.
Took the wind out of his sails a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, he had lost 1/4 of a stroke on that approach, then lost another 3/4 of a stroke, so he's lost a full stroke from just the approach in that first bunker shot, but then gained 1/4 back on that putt. So I think, you know, that clutch, I don't know, it was like a 10-footer.
Yeah.
You know, and it just goes to show those 4 strokes gained putting is, you know, can keep you in some big moments. And
it's huge.
I won't lie, I was pulling for him a little bit in that tournament.
I was too. I think most people were, but only because he hasn't won before. It's always fun watching somebody who hasn't won win. You know.
I had somebody starred on the leaderboard. There is goes by the name Ben Griffin, a little T22.
Not bad.
He's been playing well. I've seen him on TikTok a little bit, so you know, kind of rooting for him a little bit. But
cool.
He has been striping his irons the past couple weeks at Pebble Beach. He had really good iron play, but he was really struggling off the tee. He on Saturday his best round 4 under 66. Just showing he has the game to make it on the big leagues. He's a rookie. He was plus 3.2 strokes gained total and plus 1.5 strokes gained approach. Just just showing what he's made of. But overall is kind of where it gets you is, you know, he sat just below the field average in strokes gained approach. And just didn't make up for it around the green, which is kind of consistent with the way he's been playing. But in that respect, he fixed his driving. And I think it's really interesting. I'm sure most amateur golfers can relate is you fix one thing, but the other thing, you know, kind of hops out the window and you're just like, one day you have a good driving day and one day you have a good iron day, but you never but when you put those two together, I think when he does do that, it'll be really interesting to see how he plays moving forward.
Definitely.
I'll take on there. One of the guys that I was trying to follow was Sepp Straka, returning champ for the Honda Classic. He played pretty well. One of the stats that I wanted to look at here. Sorry, I lost it. It looks like so he approached a green. He made 7.5 strokes on just his approach shots, which is crazy. So I was looking mostly at some of the stats with regards to the approaches because it's something that I wanted to work on. So seeing that stat and just like watching how he played was really cool. I mean, he was second on approach to green strokes gained for the entire week. So he played out of his mind. Definitely don't forget about this guy. He's definitely going to
Mhm.
keep playing some good golf. But
He's been
also,
around the season last year.
yeah. Also, the returning champ, so it's good to see him play well too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that was a little bit of the top boys on the leaderboard.
Well, I'll shout out Taylor Pendrith, Kent State guy.
Nice.
Didn't play that well today.
But he's still gonna shout him out,
Yeah. Still shout him
It's my
out.
boy.
He's my boy.
Hey, I got to watch him at the Rocket Mortgage. Dude can play.
T42 this week. He shot 2 over today, or 1 over today. But I like mentioning him because watch out for him. I think he's got so much game. And
He does, absolutely. Those Canadians,
sure,
man.
yeah.
Kent State knows how to find those Canadians.
yeah, right. He putted really well and chipped really well this week. He's like known as a power guy. Like he can easily stretch ball speed over 185 to like even 190 if he really wanted to. So like seeing him have a good putting week is promising. So we'll see. As Max said, if we can get all those cylinders firing, that's a guy to watch out for.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I guess I'd just like to add about the courses. I was kind of I was scrubbing through Data Golf, just kind of looking at each strokes gain category, and it just kind of, I really noticed that this course, kind of as predicted, is like a premium on iron play, and
For
also
sure.
kind of surprising on putting as well. But I think, it might also be due to the fact that, you got a good approach, you got a good putting maybe, but it's just it just shows PJ National's teeth. It just kind of comes around the green,
100%. The approach shots are impossible. PGA National.
Those
They're
visuals,
impossible. The pin placements where they put them just 5 yards, onto the green, with a bunker long and a bunker short. It's like, how do you even play this shot? You have 60 yards or 120 or something like that. It's crazy shots, tough approach shots too. So
yeah, and then like if you miss the green, it's not there's no guaranteed up and down anywhere.
No,
it's you're chipping downhill. You're looking at you got to hit this like high spinner bunker shot, staring at water 10 yards past the flag. Like it's a scary course.
I'd agree.
The
bear trap is really cool to watch today. So that's fun.
Absolutely.
It just has a rep of being just a brutally hard test of golf, and it's a bummer that I don't know if hopefully we see another tournament here. I don't know what's with all this changing sponsorship. If they're going to.
I do think Jack Nicklaus said that he was reassured by the PGA Tour that they are keeping it at PGA National. So it's just not gonna be the Honda Classic anymore.
Yeah, I always love when every year when the tournament the tour comes to this place. It's a great course. But yeah, I'm glad to hear that they're hopefully sticking around.
Yeah, we'll see how it evolves. I'm gonna be curious to see, what happens with it, because apparently some of the schedule is changing next year too, not just with regards to the Honda Classic, but the PGA Tour as a whole. So I'm curious to see where that's going to go too. This time next year, how that's going to really work out. Maybe it'll be more enjoyable to watch. I don't know. I mean, I think it's pretty fun right now.
Hope, right? And I think that's also probably due to the elevated events and stuff like that too. I think.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I would like to see them taking these, I guess, designated events, is what they want us to call it.
Yeah.
But taking these designated events and kind of rotating a little bit, obviously have some anchor points like Bay Hill and Riviera, and maybe Waste Management. But like those other ones kind of changing around because, we're seeing it with Honda. Obviously,
year.
This was in the works, but some of these other places like Sanderson Farms, like they're not going to be sponsoring, and John Deere, they're not going to be sponsoring these events if they're not going to get the top players, right? So,
right.
Or are they going to get a better rate, something like that? So it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out, like you said.
Same. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm curious to see what's going to happen. I'm just hopeful that the season doesn't lose its current tang. We'll see.
Yeah. All right.
Cool. All right.
Ferrari, you got anything else to add?
No, man. I think we covered it. That was fun.
Awesome. Cool. Fultz, you got anything to add?
No. Cheers to a good 2023 full of golf and analysis and birdies. Let's play
There
some
we
golf,
go. All
boys.
right, we'll see you guys here
Tip it
back
out.
next week.